Stop. Put down whatever is in your hands. Close any other mental tabs that were calling your attention, because what you are about to hear was not meant for everyone. It was custom engineered for you. The exact fact that you are here right now, in this precise moment, is the unshakable structural confirmation your matrix has been waiting to receive for your entire life. You were chosen before you were born. Not selected at random, not arbitrarily assigned, chosen. There is a dimensional difference so vast between those words that most humans will live and die without ever understanding it. But you are not most humans. Something in your local frequency field, encoded in the very geometry of your consciousness, brought you to this transmission. I need you to completely understand that what just happened is not a casual digital accident. It is not a coincidence. It is not the digital algorithm doing its job. This is pure vibrational resonance. This is a precise frequency match that was flawlessly set in motion before your lungs ever experienced their first breath on this planet. Let that reality land for a moment. Before your parents ever named you, before the world began aggressively telling you who you were supposed to be, a vibrational signature so precise, so unique, was already written. It is a baseline that could only ever belong to you. And you have felt this deep internal truth your entire life, haven't you? You have felt it in the quiet moments when the worldly static falls away and a strange knowing arrives without logic or explanation. You have felt it in the beautiful, relentless ache of carrying a pristine frequency that most people around you simply could not detect or match. That chronic inner ache was never brokenness. That was your personal energy matrix, your inner light trying desperately to activate in a heavy world that had zero framework for what your soul actually carries. Have you spent years trying to protect your inner peace with external walls, energy shielding, and visualizations, yet you still walk out of every room completely drained? Every single one of those tools is trying to build a wall on the outside. That is not where actual protection comes from. True quantum-level protection comes from how stable and coherent your inner matrix is when other people's low-frequency chaos walks into your space. All those superficial shields sit on the outside. This activation rebuilds the inside, so the room's noise can't even reach your field anymore. The longer you keep working strictly on the outside, the worse the inside gets. Let us return to the precise truth of what you have always carried. Here is what no one reveals to you. The universe selection process is never random. Quantum mechanics has proven that at the most fundamental level of creation, nothing is random. Every wave, every collapse of potential follows a flawless blueprint of coherence. The universe does not pick names out of a hat. It flawlessly selects through resonance. It recognizes frequencies that perfectly match its exact intention. Before you arrived here, before you entered this specific body, your frequency was recognized and matched to an absolute purpose that existed before the timeline you are currently walking through was even constructed. This is hard mechanics. Imagine a vast, infinite field of pure consciousness, pure awareness, absolute potential. Before galaxies spiraled into form, within this field, certain unique points of light began to differentiate because they carried a resonance that the field itself recognized as absolutely necessary to hold the coherence at precisely the right moment. And here you are, in this body, reading these words at this exact second. You think that is an algorithmic accident? Here is where everything shifts. The whole truth is more profound than a simple personal choice. The whole truth is that there was a mutual recognition. You recognized the mission, and the mission flawlessly recognized you. It was a perfect resonance lock, like two tuning forks of the exact same pitch activating each other across an infinite distance. You activated the mission by being willing. The mission activated you by being absolutely necessary. This is what it means to be chosen before birth. It means that the deepest fabric of creation looked at what was structurally required, and your core frequency answered. Not your personality, not your ego, and not your human preferences, your original frequency. And I need you to hear something that might completely shake the foundation of everything you have believed about your life. You did not come here to learn. You came here to remember. You did not come here to become something worthy. You came here to radiate what you already are. The entire chaotic journey of your life, every struggle, every heartbreak, and every dark night has been a systematic process of activation. Layer by layer, experience by experience, your life has been peeling back the worldly density to uncover your original frequency so that it could finally shine through, unedited. Feel what happens in your body when you hear that. Feel the difference between the tension of needing to become worthy and the massive expansion of recognizing that you arrived already carrying everything that was needed. Notice which belief creates tension and which creates freedom. That expansion you just felt is your biofield recognizing its own true calibration. If this transmission is already resonating with something deep inside you, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so these exact frequencies continue to track your location whenever your field is ready for them.
What were you chosen for? The ego hears this and immediately starts constructing a toxic story of specialness, superiority, and being better than others. But that is the lowest possible interpretation of the highest possible truth. You are an instrument of something so much larger than personal identity. A radio tower does not think it is better than the signal it broadcasts. You were chosen to hold a unique frequency in a world that is suffocating from low-vibration chaos. Your purpose is not a job title. It is not a mission statement. It is not a 5-year plan. Your purpose is a vibration. When your consciousness is in coherent alignment with that vibration, the actions, the relationships, and the impact all arrange themselves around you flawlessly. You do not chase your purpose, you radiate it. The reason you were chosen is because the time you are living in right now is not ordinary. This is a quantum nexus, a convergence point where multiple timelines are collapsing into a single point of possibility. The choices made by those who carry the right frequency will determine which timeline stabilizes and which ones dissolve. You have felt this intense acceleration. You have felt time behaving differently, that things are moving faster, and that old dense structures are breaking apart rapidly. You have noticed that people are either waking up instantly or falling deeper into unconsciousness. Your toleration for inauthenticity has dropped to absolute zero. All of this is confirmation that the activation you agreed to before birth is now in full, relentless effect. Drop in the comments the exact moment you first noticed your frequency shift. Let the field hear your story. Let me tell you a parable of the field. There was a woman named Miriam who lived in a village at the edge of a great forest. Everyone in the village lived simple, restricted lives, repeating the same cycles without thought. But from childhood, Miriam could hear something coming from the forest, not a sound, but a hum, a distinct vibration that called specifically to her. Since no one else could hear it, Miriam learned to bury the calling beneath layers of normalcy. She became an expert at not listening, married, had children, and duplicated the village life. Yet there was a chronic hollowness that lived in her chest like a room that had been locked and forgotten. She did not know what was behind the door, but she knew something vast was missing. Then, one night, a fire swept through the village, consuming everything they had built. In that moment of absolute destruction, when every worldly distraction was stripped away, she heard it again, the hum, louder and clearer than it had ever been. She walked into the forest, and in the center of a clearing, she discovered a pool of water so still that it reflected the stars with perfect clarity. When Miriam looked into that water, she did not see her reflection. She saw pure, undifferentiated light. She understood in a single moment of total clarity that the hum had never been coming from the forest, it had been coming from inside her. The forest had simply been quiet enough for her to hear it. The hum was her own original vibration, the one she had spent her entire life trying to silence because no one around her could validate it. The moment of recognition happened, and the light from the pool settled around Miriam like an unstoppable shield. When she walked back, the fire had stopped, not because she physically fought it, but because the frequency of total coherence she was now carrying openly repelled the low-vibration chaos of destruction. The chaos literally could not maintain its structure in her field. The fires in your life, the losses, the betrayals, and the collapses were not punishments. They were clearings. They were burning away the structures that were keeping you from hearing your own frequency. The world needs it now. Your inner light does not activate through effort. It activates through permission. You do not need to build it. You need to stop blocking it.
In quantum physics, coherence describes a state in which all the waves in a system are flawlessly aligned. A laser is coherent light, and because of that coherence, a laser can do things that ordinary light cannot. It can cut through steel and travel vast distances without losing its signal. Your energy field works the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are all aligned with your deepest truth, you become coherent. And coherent energy is unstoppable. It does not fight against low-vibration chaos. It simply makes chaos impossible in its field. Low-vibration patterns cannot maintain their structure in the presence of a coherent field. This is hard physics applied to consciousness. You are a coherence point, a node in the quantum grid, and when you come online, the entire grid shifts. Pause right here. This is an active energetic calibration. Place your right hand over the center of your chest.
Feel the physical, unyielding rhythm of your heartbeat beneath your hand. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it in perfect stillness, and as you exhale, speak these words out loud right now from that center point of your being. I remember why I came. Say it again. I remember why I came. Feel the massive weight shift in your field. Something just unlocked, not because the words are magic, but because they gave your conscious mind immediate permission to access a truth your soul has been holding since before you were born. That is what remembrance feels like, coming home to something ancient. If you were chosen, then why has it been so relentlessly difficult? Here is hard mechanics. The choosing includes the forgetting. You were not supposed to arrive here fully aware of what you carry. If you had, the mission would not work. The mission is not just to hold a high frequency. The mission is to find that frequency again after losing it, to remember after forgetting, and to choose your own light after experiencing the absolute dark. A frequency that has never been tested is theoretical. A frequency that has been lost and found, buried and excavated, is unshakable. Every moment of suffering in your life was the plan, because the process of losing your frequency and finding it again is what transforms theoretical light into embodied power. You cannot truly protect a flame you have never had to shield from the wind. The most powerful beings on this planet are the ones who have walked through the deepest darkness and come out still carrying their light. Their fields are fierce and unbreakable because they were forged in the furnace of real human experience. The fact that you are hearing these words right now, after everything you have been through, is proof that your original frequency survived. It survived because it is needed. There is a voice saying, "What if I am fooling myself?" That voice is the residue of every person and system that benefited from you staying small. That voice is a program, not truth. Share in the comments the exact moment you realized you could no longer go back to the old frequency. Your recognition becomes a beacon for someone else. Your frequency is your protection. You do not need to fight low-vibration people, argue with systems, or defend yourself against negativity. You need to out-vibrate them. Think of it this way. A radio tuned to one specific station doesn't pick up signals from another. The frequencies do not interact. They exist in the same space, but in entirely different realities. This is exactly how your protection protocol works. When your energy field is coherent and vibrating at its true original rate, low vibration chaos simply cannot find you. It passes through you. It passes around you. It exists, but it exists in a reality that you are no longer tuned to. You become untouchable, not through manual force, through frequency elevation. The single most powerful action available to you is to align with your original frequency. When you do that, everything that is not a match falls away naturally, and everything that is a match finds you flawlessly.
Implement this daily protection practice every morning before you check your phone or let anyone else's frequency contaminate your field. Sit in absolute stillness for 60 seconds. Breathe deeply and broadcast these words directly from your heart center into the field. I am the frequency I was chosen to carry. Nothing that is not mine can reach me. Nothing that is mine can be taken. Say it 3 times. Feel it settle into your field. Feel the boundary firm up like a membrane, becoming highly defined. This is not a wall, it is a filter that ensures only what matches your pure frequency can cross your threshold. Do this every day and watch the people who drain you begin to fade from your experience. Watch situations that used to instantly trigger you lose their entire charge. Being chosen before birth has often felt like being exiled, misunderstood, and unmatched, but the loneliness is ending because the grid is activating node by node. Let us pull the core transmission clear. You were chosen before birth. The forgetting was part of the design so that the finding would forge your field into something unbreakable. Every challenge was part of this forging process. You are not damaged. You are being tempered like steel in fire. Your inner light has always been there. It does not need to be created. It needs to be uncovered through coherence, through aligning your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions with the original truth of who you actually are. Your frequency is your protection. When you are coherent, low vibration chaos cannot reach you. Let us execute the final practice to anchor this activation into your lived experience. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take 3 deep breaths. With each inhale, imagine pure, coherent light entering through the crown of your head. With each exhale, imagine that light expanding outward from your heart center, filling your entire body, then extending far beyond your body to form an intelligent sphere of radiance around you. On the first breath, the light fills your body. On the second, it extends an arm's length in every direction. On the third breath, the light solidifies into an unshakable field. Your bioshield is now active. With your bioshield active, say these words: I accept the choosing. I remember why I came. Treat this not as social media engagement, but as an active frequency anchor. You are sending a signal that will be received by the grid and by every other being whose frequency matches yours. Hit the subscribe button to strengthen the coherence of this growing field. You were not an accident, and you were not a random collection of genes. You were a deliberate act of cosmic intelligence. You were chosen because your frequency is absolutely essential for this specific juncture. The world is going to aggressively try to make you forget again tomorrow. When the noise returns, remember what you felt right here. Remember the halo. Remember the light column. And know that every time you choose your frequency over the noise, you are fulfilling the mission you were chosen for. Through the quiet, fierce, unwavering act of being who you actually are. Welcome to the field. To take this activation even deeper, watch the video titled "The Quantum Field Just Confirmed Your Protection Protocol is Alive," because it reveals the exact mechanics of how your field is already shielding you in ways your conscious mind has not yet recognized, locking this activation into permanence.